hello, hello. Hey, Tommy Bice, how you doing? Hey, Gigi, how you doing? Little too bright. Step into the light. How y'all doing today? Grace Guys, how you doing? Good evening, good evening, good evening. How y'all doing today? Hope y'all doing well. Hope y'all doing divine. Happy Mac, how you doing? What's up? One thing I will tell you all is that I tried something a little bit new today. I'm trying to go live a little bit more often, but I noticed that after work is not a good idea. It's just not favorable. I spent a lot of time rushing today just to get on. If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up, please. If you all can hear me. If y'all can see me and hear me, give me a thumbs up, please. Hope y'all doing well. I appreciate y'all coming in. You good? Okay. Excellent, 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 excellent. Belinda, how you doing today? Good evening. Good evening to everyone. I wanted to kind of talk about a few things because, as you all know, we are facing some real challenging times, right? We have the economy's doing some crazy things. We got health scares. We got a lot of different things, and a lot of people are talking about all the different things as far as the weather's changing, weather patterns are changing. Some people are struggling in the finance. A lot of the rents are going up. A lot of different things, but I haven't heard a lot of. I haven't heard a lot of um, answers, solutions. So today I wanted to collaborate with you all to talk about some solutions. I know together we can definitely come up with some good, strong, hardcore solutions to help some people. And for those of you who have lived around this planet for a couple of times, for those of you who have been around, I'm quite sure you have seen some things in your lifetime. And I'm hoping that you can share some of those things with our audience as well. So I'm going to talk about 5 ways to not be affected by the economy or the market or the market. I know that's a big feat, but I feel like with us and Eco Nation together, we can come up with a lot of beautiful things and a whole lot more than five. But there's 5 fundamental principles to almost every single challenge that you face. And if you start thinking about this as you go through the process, you'll start seeing that I'm starting to see these same principles every single time. Be Rich, what's going on? Thank you, Be Rich. Many blessings to you, man. Good afternoon. Good evening to you. LT, how you doing? Thank you, Be Rich. I really appreciate that, my brother. Thank you. As always, I always appreciate your support, your continued support. And 340 Tropical Garden Preps. How you doing? How you doing today? So we're gonna dive on in and we're gonna talk about a few things. And because as you all see, I don't have that much daylight and I'm just getting home, literally just driving up. And I got to do some chores before we go. So I'm definitely not going to keep you that long. But I just want to leave a few things in your brain to kind of meditate, to kind of chew on, to kind of process and see how you feel it. And y'all put it in the comments too, and if you all know some additional things, some additional resources, that's what we're here for. We're here to provide answers and some solutions, solutions to different challenges and different things that we face. There's a lot of chatter about all the things that's not going right. I would like to just start talking about some things and some solutions to kind of uh, help the people along the way. Is that Vision? How you doing, Vision? Hey, I appreciate it. Y'all, please don't forget to hit that like because that definitely does help. Anytime you hit that like, that helps the channel. That helps get the word out. That helps everything. You learn with Robert. What's going on, Robert? Miss D's. How you doing? Good to see you, Miss Dees. Hope you're doing well this beautiful evening. Did you know that if you take a plant that you really want to grow, you know what you have to do a lot of times with that plant? Just say it's thin, it's looking frail. A lot of times we want to rush to kind of feed that plant. A lot of times we want to fertilize it. We want to give it all the natural um, the natural uh, the natural vitamins, the natural nutrients. That's the word I was trying to think of. I had a brain fog. We want to give it the natural nutrients that they really, we feel like they really need. But a lot of times, you know what you can do when you really want to make a plant all real nice, thick, and bushy? You can do one or two things. Either you can kind of deadhead it, trim it. It's amazing when you trim or when you take something and you put it through some type of challenging situation. It's amazing on how resilient that plant becomes. That plant all of a sudden starts to get stronger. You might pluck off a few leaves, some of the new growth. If you really want something to fruit for next season, you might want to take off, and you feel like it's a young plant, you might want to take off that new first fruit so that it can be really strong come the next season. The same thing happens with our life in a lot of cases. A lot of times when we're going through challenges and when we're seeing different things, the first thing we want to do, we want to take an assessment and try to get rid of anything that's weighing us down. That's the first thing you want to do. You want to get rid of all of that old baggage. That's one of the first things you want to do. What's up, Juan? How you doing? My cart runneth over. How you doing? Toya's Pantry 72. How you doing? Good to see you today. Miss Grace Guys, I think I spoke to you. How you doing? Good to see y'all. I think I see somebody else in. Let me see. Yeah, I think I got everybody. So some of the things we have to do once we realize that in order to prepare ourselves and get ready for this journey and get ready for some of these different challenges in our life, you want to start generating and making room for new growth. You want to make room for new growth. That's some of the biggest things that plant lovers and even people that talks about a lot of different things where they want to generate growth. Another thing, we're going to start off with these 5 things. I'm going to go real quickly through them, and then we're going to kind of dive in and talk a little bit about them. So, no matter what you're doing in the situation, the first thing you want to do, you want to diversify your investments. You want to diversify that investment, whether we're talking about money, whether we're talking about a business, whether we want to talk about career, because what we're talking about, we're getting ready to prep ourselves for some challenging situations. And these are some things that you can mitigate some of those things that pop up. And we know things pop up. We know things gonna always pop up. And so some things we can control and some things we can't control. The things that we can control, we want to be prepared for that because we know certain things gonna come. For example, you got your car. So you're gonna have to do maintenance. You're gonna have to do upkeep. You're gonna have to do routine maintenance. You're gonna have to put gas in it. You're gonna have to change the oil. Eventually you're gonna have to get some tires. And now what you want to do, you want to be prepared for that. So how can you be prepared for that? Take assessment of what you have. Take a look at what you have and what it's going to take for me to maintain it. Now, as you make that list of every single thing that you have, every single thing, now put those into categories, things that I need and things that are just luxury. I'm not in a strain. We talking about people who not in a strain right now. You're in a good place. But we're preparing for just in case it get a little bit tight. That way we can keep and we can maintain without being sucked into this little vortex of negativity, right? So you want to diversify your investments. You take your assets and then you take your investments. You're going to have to put something to the side because you know that car is going to need that oil change. And the time when the tire gets flat or when the car breaks down, it's not going to be convenient. We already know this. The time when you need to replace the tires or put some brakes on is not going to be convenient. So go ahead and start diversifying your investments and putting your emergency fund together. You want to build a good, strong, robust emergency fund. I know a lot of people keep hearing about this emergency fund. I don't have enough money during the month to build emergency fund. Once you take that list and you look at the things you need versus the things that you can do without, you want to shed those things. Remember we talked about that pruning, taking apart, just extracting some of those things, because guess what? When you get rid of old stuff, guess what you can do? Generate new growth, just like plants. When we cut hedges, when we cut the grass, guess what happened about a week later or 2 weeks later? Depends on what zone you're in. Grass gonna come back and it's gonna be more grass. When you trim a hedge, guess what's gonna happen? It's gonna start growing even more. So what we want to do, we want to generate growth in our world, in our atmosphere, in our mindset. You want to generate growth around you, in the tangible things around you, the mental things around you, the spiritual things around you. So what you have to do, you have to take those assessments, take a look at what you have, what you need, that roof over your head, shelter, that if you need food, you need the food, you need your health, you need your right mind, you need your sanity, you need your network of system and people, right? So you need all of these different things. And these are the things that will prepare you to the part where you can maintain self stability. So imagine you diversifying your plants that you're growing in your garden. You're growing a little bit of herbs for your health. You're growing a little bit of vegetables for your health. You're growing a little bit, some that you can share with others. You're growing a little bit, some that you may even want to sell to others, right? So the whole thing, no matter what you're doing, diversify in your life, whether you're growing a garden, whether you're starting a savings, whether you talking about finances, whether you're talking about your education, you want to be to the part where you got it covered on every single facet. Now you wanna make sure that you become this like energy independent person, right? Number two, you want to be energy efficient. Now, think about proper rest at night. Think about the solar panels. It doesn't matter. Everything you want to do, you want to have enough energy to keep pushing through whatever situation you're going through. If you're not healthy for yourself, you can't be healthy for others. So those are some of the things we just touching on 5 things this evening on some things that you can do to help mitigate to not be so affected by the market or by the economy. Because guess what? If you're feeling good, you got your energy, you got food, you got prepared for emergency, you got all these different things. When people and tragedy is going all around you, somehow you seem to be like floating level, right? And people trying to ask how you doing. You're preparing now while you're good. Because right now it's good. And if you're not going through a good situation, it's still better than what it could be, right? So you want to be intentional about doing this process, and you want to prepare yourself because it's going to happen. The rain is going to happen. Invest in gold and silver, Warren says. Invest in gold and silver. That's diversifying gold, silver, but you also may want to invest in insurance. Some people don't like insurance, but it hedges you from different things if you're smart. Sometimes you might want to invest in plants, seeds. It's all kinds of things that you want to invest in, right? Um, let's see, we got learn how to read a map and keep physical books handy. That's important. That's very important. And then another thing you want to do, I add to it. You want a compass, right? Remember, we diversifying every single thing. You're gonna notice that every single facet of your life to keep you stabilized, to keep everything going. You want to have that stability. So you're gonna have to diversify. You're gonna have to be ready for those emergencies. You're gonna need the energy to go through this process. So even when the money not right, if you're growing out there in your garden, you got a good diverse array of vegetables and herbs, you can make sure you're healthy. And even if you don't have enough money to go get something, you're not already invested in there. And then all you have to do is just yield a crop. Co-worker was coughing in our meeting today, so tinctures tonight and airborne is on my list in the morning. But notice, Gigi didn't never say going to the store. Gigi didn't never say calling somebody. Gigi didn't never say Amazon. Gigi didn't never say none of that. She was already prepared because she knew what we got to wake up and pay attention. We know what's getting ready to happen. It's getting ready to get cold, right? When temperature change, guess what happens? People typically get sick, right? So you already know you want to be prepared and ahead of the cycle, right? You want to plan. It's already leading into it. You want to plan for those situations. So number 4, you want to plan. You want an action plan, a plan of action. What is your plan? What's your goal? Know what's your goal in life, right? If some people say, "Well, I just don't know what I want to do." What are you doing right now? And how are you planning your current situation? If you're working a job, right, and you got this job, and you know you're not going to be there forever, you know this is not my career, or what I want to do. What are you doing to plan for your next move? What exit date do you have set? What plan do you have to transition into doing what you're doing? What are you actively doing right now? What you're doing to prepare yourself for the future? See, for too many times, I really watch how we've been so dependent on luxuries of convenience of this instant gratification. But it's so important that we plan our days, we plan our weeks. And is it promised to us? No, it's not. But where there's no vision, come on, vision. Where there's no vision, people what? They perish. So these are some things that'll keep you stabilized no matter what the economy is doing, right? If I had gold and silver, and if I lost my job, guess what I could do? I could trade it, right? I could trade it, or maybe I could even borrow against it, borrow time. Sometimes people will lend you certain things that you can barter and trade, right? If I am diverse in what I have, I got something that somebody needs, right? I'm learning about something. I'm learning a skill. I'm learning a trade that somebody might need. And guess what I can do? I can offer my services and my knowledge to help somebody, right? So this is keeping me stabilized in the midst of chaos. Things gonna rise, and just because everybody's doing something doesn't mean you need to be doing it, right? By you sitting here listening to this video on YouTube or whatever stream you see it on, this is your message to prepare, to be ready, and to understand that change is bound to come. But why not prepare yourself for these changes to come? And you are listening and reading in the chat of positive solutions. Facts. Learn to barter. What's up, King David? What's going on, David? Love and life. God has given us common sense to be prepared and organized for bad situations. Hey, and if he has, if you don't have what people call common sense, you have this knowledge by listening or by reading the comments, one or the other. Hey, Miss Native, how you doing? Practice them skills. It's moving a little bit. Hold on for 1 second. Let me go back. Practice them skills. As for me, I write down many different survival skills in the book just in case something happens to me. Have real paper maps. Have have meetup plans to share with certain people. If something goes off or something pops off, where y'all meeting at? Where you and your squad meeting at? Who is your squad? Do you even know your squad? What's your squad built on? Can somebody hunt fish? Can somebody aid somebody if somebody's hurt? You know, can somebody grow in your squad? And where's your squad? Where would your squad meet up at? You can't figure it out after it happens, and then try to figure out where we're gonna meet at. You can't try to say, well, if such and such happened, me and my little squad, my girls, we lived in a house. We already knew where we were gonna meet at. If anything popped off, if we got separated or anything happened, we already knew where we were gonna meet at. Right? You want to be prepared for certain things, right? Sometimes you won't be able to have that book, so it's important to read. I like what Miss Native said. She wrote it down. So number one, she's not only reading about it, hearing about it, but she's writing it and she's reading it. So guess what? If that book gets destroyed or she gets separated from that book, it's amazing what happens when you're in a panic situation on how things that you done prepped and prepared for, they just kick into place. You didn't even know You even know if you will remember or not, and all of a sudden it just kick into place. That body is trying to survive. That mind is gonna try to survive. Mystic Zen, how you doing today? Bless up to you. Good to see y'all. Good to see you. Wayne, regenerative, how you doing, my brother? What's going on? I think you said something up here. Let me scroll back up. GG by the sea, first time catching a live. Much respect to you too as well. Welcome on in. Welcome on in. Uh, Eco, you speaking wisdom. Got to get rid of a lot of folks who don't understand your new journey. Them negative city friends who say you way crazy, who want to stay in the matrix. What I'm doing. I mean, this is the thing, you know. Some of us can't get out right now, right? But what are you doing right now? What are you doing? If you can't, if you in a building downtown in whatever metropolitan city right now, you still got opportunities. You still got things you could do. And remember, I'm not talking about like just as the world turns and then everything stops and we in panic. I'm talking about just everyday life right now, what I'm trying to talk to you all about. Because right now we're experiencing something where people are going to be going through something. If you haven't noticed that most of every time when the economy changes, it's in the cold season. And then guess what else happens? We're getting ready to embark on student loans. People are already being stressed on their rents. The price of food's going up, the price of gas going up, and now you got student loans to be thrown on top of that. Guess what else happened? Taxes getting ready to happen. Guess what else happened? Life, right? So you're talking about your health, your finances, your education, your credit, your place to stay. We got to try to mitigate some of that stuff and be prepared and be proactive because as a new year roll around, guess what happened? Rates go up. Not only insurance, not only on rents, not only on taxes, but we keep running into these different things that we have to be prepared with. We have to focus on, right? All right, let me go back and check. Bring out the Germinates. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You want to bring it out. And this something. I'm glad you said that, Toya. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday. I watched this guy. He works. He works in the. Well, I'm not even gonna talk about where he work at. But I watched him walk out of his office building. He had on a mask, right? And with his mask, he had some kind of special shoes. He had some gloves on. He had a bunch of stuff, and he walked to the passenger side of his car, and he made sure he didn't touch the driver's side for whatever reason. And as he walked through there, he opened up the door and he reached in and he grabbed a little bag and he took the bag and it was a zipper bag. He walked around to the front door and the guy, he unzipped the bag and he took some, I guess I don't know what it is. It was a spray bottle, but he sprayed the bottom of his shoes. He sprayed the handle of the door. He sprayed inside of his car. And whether it was alcohol or whatever, I don't know what it was, but it was apparently disinfectant, right? And I watched him do all of that stuff, right? And I ain't knocking that. If y'all do that, you do that. But I'm just still asking you, I'm asking a question. Remember, how do you create growth, right? You create growth through adversity, right? If you living in such a sterile, I'm not saying go out there and lick the floor. I'm not saying go out there and rub your face against the dirt. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying go in the bathroom and just touch everything. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is if you just create such a sterile environment and your body and your immune system doesn't come in contact with no adversity, the moment the smallest, slightest adversity happens, it can be very, very major. And I believe that everything is a muscle. If you don't work that muscle, guess what's going to happen? You start losing your strength. And I get it, being clean and everything. I got it. I got it. But sometimes we can go just a little bit overboard. We can go a little bit overboard. My friend, I wish him the best. I don't know his life situation. I don't know with he could have been sick. He could have been very sick near death. I don't know his situation, but it comes a point in time where you still gotta build your immune system. You still gotta build yourself up, right? You're in a room, you're in a building with hundreds of people. You know what I'm saying? And if you gotta be in contact with hundreds of people, you might want to build up some antibodies for those varieties and different types of people. Because if you remember, you send the kids off to school, they've been in this sanitary environment, they hadn't had no cold, no runny nose or nothing. Then they go to school for the first few weeks and they sick. They bring home everything except for the desk and the teacher. And you're watching them and you're saying, whoa. But guess what happens? Eventually, the immune system started building up, building up, building up. It's almost like when we went and returned back to work. I ain't had no kind of sniffles, no headaches, no nothing until I went back into the office. Boy, I tell you. So we have to build up a little bit, be prepared. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about being prepared. You thought I was live at 8. This is my problem. I set times, right? Sure. I set times. And sometimes my laptop or my cell phone because I live in the central zone time, but I work in the eastern zone time. And Florida, it's all spread out, right? But the problem is sometimes my devices don't switch over and it'll give me conflicting times. And then I go change one and then it changes the other. So it gets all squirrely. I apologize for that. But I'm glad you're here, Sherry. I'm glad you made it in. I really appreciate it. Miss Navis said, I know who my ride or die peoples are. My book will be passed over. I see now. I will be making a copy too. Yeah, make copies. You know, and that's why we are here today in this chat. Step and repeat and copy and share with somebody. Don't do like say this right here is knowledge. Don't do this and tuck it away and pack it away and then put it in a safe spot and don't share it with nobody. We gotta help one another. We gotta help each other to build each other and to strengthen each other. You know, this is the time when we really need to be collaborating. That way we can be there for each other. You know what I'm saying? Suds and Skin Naturals. How you doing? Raw Juice Soapery. How you doing? Bless up this evening. Belinda, getting that credit score up. Get the credit score up. Go ahead and get that credit score up. Then what you gonna do with it? What you playing? What's your plans, Belinda? What's your plans? You getting it? What's up, family man? What's going on? Bless up. Loving life. Get your mind right. Get your grind right. That's right. But what we grinding for? Think about this. We spend all this time in life and think about what you're grinding for. Are we grinding for things that's gonna be temporarily, or we gonna grind for the better good of all men? You know what I'm saying? What we grinding for? Yeah, it's nighttime out here, and my boy's getting a little restless. I'm getting ready to wind this thing down because I gotta put them up because all kinds of things be running around here and they get a little squirrely on me. We need to think of it as it's a 911 situation. When that happened, phones were down. I could not I guess I could text my sister, my brother-in-law, all flights canceled, and families could not get in touch. Prepare. Please prepare. Please prepare. Keep an eye on what's happening around the world and right here. Whatever happened around the world can happen right here. Excellent. 340. Excellent. Health is wealth. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Get a house. All right. That's what's up. You can do it too. You can do it too. And it shouldn't take long. It shouldn't take long, depending on what kind of house you're trying to get now. You're trying to ball out, get that 7-bedroom. 10 baths, you know, it might take you a little bit long depending on your situation. But I don't know your situation. I ain't in your business like that. Family man, I'm about to make a cup of elderberry tea for my wife and myself right now. That's what I'm talking about. Getting yourself ready, getting yourself in shape, getting yourself taken care of, right? Grace Guy says he may have a autoimmune illness where he doesn't have enough white blood cells to fight off the different disease. Yeah. But you know something, I know y'all can call me foolish and crazy, but I just believe that if we learn our bodies and learn how the body works, the body just naturally wants to heal itself. You know what I'm saying? You know, you trust in chemicals, right? Because alcohol is a chemical. You trust in all of this stuff you spraying in your skin is absorbing it and it's digesting, right? You getting all this stuff. I know I'm finna take you in, buddy. I'm finna take you in. But you you know, we trust in a lot of stuff, but if we could just do a little research and do a little something, you'll be amazed with that body. Because God is amazing. And God ain't made no mistakes. Trust me. Smaller than what you and Gigi was looking at. But it's not. Hey, you can do it. And I can't wait to see when you do it. And if you would, just let me know when you do it. Because I know you got it. JD Etheridge, how you doing? What's going on? Well, y'all, I got to get out for the night, but I just want to really give y'all some ways and some strategies to overcome and to be prepared for some of the bumps in the road because you're going to have bumps in the road. You know, get your emergency funds right. And I don't mean just money. I'm talking about get your emergency right, whether that's planting the garden, whether that's investing in stocks. Well, get your emergency plan tight, right? You want to also plan, you want to prepare, right? You want to diversify what you're doing, right? And then you want to be in an environment where you can flourish and put your plan into action and be relentless with it and stay focused and keep pushing through it because I know that you can get exactly what you're striving for. If you be committed to it and you stay focused and you don't let those distractions of life just knock you off the block because, hey, sometimes we might get knocked down, but that don't mean we have to stay down, y'all. But I'm focused on closing on at least an acre in October, then do a home to shed that, then build on that to get it to the size that I want for us. Hey, see, that's detail. I love your level of detail. I love your level of details. And I'm gonna challenge you on something. Put some dates, get a little bit more detail, and put some dates and some commitments, and then put some plans on how you're gonna get there through them dates and through that time, right? So, hey, the land you got the October. Now, let's put some dates on the shed, right? Let's put an action plan, a tangible or realistic action plan on how you're gonna get to that shed how you gonna get to that time, right? Then put an action plan on, look, this is the house, phase one of the house, how many bedrooms, how many baths on that first phase, what kind of design you're gonna do where you can add on as time goes on, you know, how you're gonna get there, how you're gonna multiply, how you gonna generate even more income to get you to that plan in that period of time. Be that intentional. Lay it out there. Write that stuff down and look at it. And then go get your old traditional calendar. And then just write that stuff down on the calendar, you know? And then put your line in it as you get closer and as you get closer and as you get closer. Y'all can do it. I know y'all can do it. All right, I'm gonna have to get out of here because these fellas they rest and they ready to eat and it's nighttime. But y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for coming in, Robin Murphy. Thank you for coming in. Y'all stay blessed and take care and don't forget to keep on growing. Grow. Wait a minute. Don't forget to keep on growing. Grow. Y'all take care. Stay blessed, y'all. Y'all ready to go, boys?